so it's just not noise, okay? Let's say you have a great innovation here in America. Somebody comes along and creates a product that reduces the cost of maintaining a hotel, a bathtub, or sink by 30%. A company like Drainwig, it's just a very simple technology that you put down.
We call it Roto-Rooter here.
Yeah, but this actually is something that you put down the drain, and then you pull it out every 90 days, throw it away, and put another one down. But it's patented, and it was made in China because that's where the mold was. What happens is, as soon as a product like that hits 5 million run rate in the American domestic market, so it's a proven winner, it's a winner, it gets knocked off in China. And let's say I'm just giving you numbers. Let's say you spend $100 million developing the product, okay, in R&D in the United States. You raise the money. You're an entrepreneur. You worked 8 days a week. You worked your tail off, and now you got a hit. Not every product's a hit, but this is a hit because it's proven itself to 5 million. It's always around 5 million this happens. Boom, it gets knocked off in China. You find it on Alibaba at 30 to 40% discount, and it's on Amazon too, and it's being sold in retail, sometimes under the same name in the U.S., retailers. And it's a small company that just got started. The Chinese knocked it off, ripped off the IP, don't even care. You can't go litigate. You can go to the World Trade Organization that they agreed to back in 2000 to be part of, and there's rules about that, but they ignore them all. They've never, ever, ever complied, not once, and there's thousands of complaints.
So take it to somebody who's been, the man been traumatized apparently. And it is kind of funny because I'm just like, damn, bro, it was a lie. Like, China did you dirty. He's like, bro, I done paid for the patent. I'd send it down there to get made because of the mold, and then these guys steal it and then sell it on the international market and put me out of business. Yeah, I would be pretty pissed off if I was Kevin O'Leary too. I'd be on their ass as well. I'd be like, oh yeah, bet I'm going to scorch the earth on y'all. They did me like that.
Knocked it off, ripped off the IP, don't even care. You can't go litigate. You can go to the World Trade Organization that they agreed to back in 2000 to be part of, and there's rules about that, but they ignore them all. They've never, ever, ever complied, not once, and there's thousands of complaints at WTO. I mean, I could just go on with a litany of reasons why this, and finally, I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. Enough, because you can't cheat and steal forever. And we've not given them a single consequence. Nothing happens to them when they do this.
That's where I was going to go. You said they don't comply. We have rules, laws, regulations about this. Why have we gone soft on all that?
Try and enforce them. Try and break.
That's what I'm saying. And it's crazy how some people's argument is just like, let them cheat. Like, do you understand, like, when y'all go against Trump's plan, or where you say, oh, Trump should pull out, and you spread all this Chinese propaganda, you're pretty much just saying that, oh, yeah, let them cheat. Let them do whatever they want. Let them do whatever they want to the market, manipulate their currency, unfair trade policies. They could sell to everybody else, but nobody could sell to them. It's like, really? Is that really y'all stance? Let them cheat.
Bring a case. Here's something else. Okay, you're a Chinese.
Now, and to the Dems, I'm not even going to lie. I can see why y'all would go with this, because you guys are the same people that was letting transgender women playing women's sports. So, yeah, hey, y'all was telling them to let them cheat too. So I see why you okay with letting China cheat the rest of their lives.
Company, and you want to litigate a competitor in the United States, you can hire an American lawyer and sue the crap out of that American company. Try and do that in China. You don't have a reciprocal right to do that. You cannot do that in China. So my attitude is, okay, Chinese company, if you're a controlled Chinese company, controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, you can't use the American legal system, not until you give us reciprocal rights. I'm sorry, you're just shut off. Now, here's another one. If you go and look on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, there's $800 billion worth of market capitalization of Chinese companies that don't comply by American GAAP laws. I have to comply. I have to pay millions of dollars to actually comply with the rules of the SEC and all the other regulators. The Chinese guys don't, and they get to raise money. So when I'm trying to raise dollars, I'm competing with a Chinese company that doesn't even comply. I mean, how is that even legal?
Donald Trump's on your speed dial. Does he get this?
Yes, and the good news there is they just brought a new sheriff into town. He's just got approved. His name is Paul Atkins. He's the new head of the SEC, and he will finally make these companies comply. There's a law on the books that was brought out 4 years ago by Rick Scott, senator from Florida, that says if you're a Chinese company, you're not complying with GAAP, you have 36 months to comply. Then he tightened the law, made it 24 months. And if you don't comply, you're delisted. So all I'm asking, and I went to the Hill last week, I said to Atkins, hey, are you going to enforce this law? Because I got no problem competing with any company that I have to play in the same level playing field with. And he said, yeah, we're going to start delisting these companies finally. And that Rick Scott sent him a letter that he made public last week saying, hey, look, do your job, because if you don't, I'm going to make a lot of noise. And I think that's what Atkins is going to do. So the Chinese are getting squeezed in the capital markets. I want them to be squeezed in the IP markets. And I want to do business in China, and I want to compete there. And I love the Chinese people. I got no problem with them. It's their government. All of this stuff is happening at the same time. So it's different than the other tariff negotiations. I say 400% tariffs on China, shut them down until Xi comes to the table and resolves all these issues.
How is he reacting now? How is Xi reacting to all this?
Well, it just started, 4 days ago when these things went on. So I
But
think
the tariffs he's known for a while.
yeah, but now he's facing reality here. Xi doesn't face an election. He actually faces one every day. He's got millions of people employed in these factories. They make stuff. The largest consumer market, 39% of all goods consumed on earth, is the United States of America. It's the largest economy on earth. Multi-trillion-dollar economy represents 21.6% of the world GDP. He can't keep his people employed unless he has access to the American markets. Yep. It's a head squeezer for him.
I'm telling you, we're the only people who can have enough, who pretty much produces enough consumerism. I know that's something we're producing is buying for some reason, but hopefully we change that. Now, yes, but with all this buying power that we have, our buying power is the only thing sustaining their economy. Yes, nobody else's economy, nobody else has much buying power as the U.S. to sustain China's economy. That's why they're shaking in their boots over these tariffs, because they know it. As soon as they lose our business, millions upon millions of their people lose jobs, and they can't sustain their economy already.
It's like something's going to get resolved here, but basically Trump has shut down trade 100% or 400%, same thing. You're not selling anything in America.
Let's talk North Dakota a little bit. What is possible in North Dakota with what's happening in the world right now?
So there's some very big trends happening, and I would say North Dakota's in the catbird seat on two of these in terms of investing. Number one is data centers, because right now demand domestically, just to give you an idea about what's needed and what we got. Now, data centers are all about AI development. You can't develop AI without a data center. Data centers need power. So demand is for 45 gigawatts of data centers right now stateside. Now, where are you going to put them? You can't add it to the grid, and here's why. So you go to any state and you say, look, I want to put a gig of power onto this local grid for a data center. I'm going to get lots of jobs, lots of engineers, and the mayor of that town says, wait a second, Bubba Louie, how much is that going to increase the ratepayers' rate? Because they got to pay for it. And then you got to say, well, I think their rate's going to go up 20%. Not a chance in hell that's happening.
Even with other development around it, that'll raise property value.
So that's what stymied the entire AI developments of these centers, and for all of the hyperscalers like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, you name it, they all need these. So what everybody's looking at now are find states that have stranded natural gas, get a turbine there, turn that into electricity, and build the data center beside it. Now, you need about $18 billion to build one of these just with the turbines, and you need water to cool them if you're in a hot state like Texas. But if you're in a cold state like maybe North Dakota, that makes life a lot easier. So what do you need? You need people. You got it in North Dakota. You need fiber, because you got to connect the data center to fiber. You got it. You need land. You got it. You need permits. That means the governor has to be willing, and he is. Kelly's willing, obviously. And then you got to get the turbines. And so that's what they're looking at. And there's only 3 places in North America right now that have that stranded gas: North Dakota, West Virginia, and Alberta, Canada.
So what about the customer? Is this a build it and they'll come, build the data center, and the customers will take care of themselves, or you have to have the customer first?
Well, you don't even get to talk to the customer until you prove to them, because they've seen the story so many times and find out you don't have the power. So you say, look, I found 2,000 acres. We can build a 1 gigawatt center here. Okay, check the box. You got the land. You got the water? Well, I don't think I got the water yet. I don't have the permits yet. Okay, call me when you get the permits for the water. And then I got the permits for the water. Okay, what about the power? Well, the local power authority says if we give them $750,000 to do a study to tell us they'll never have the power for us. Oh, that's no good for us. We can't be your tenant. You got to get the power. You got to get the water. You got the land. You got the power. Then all of a sudden you're in a discussion with Amazon or whoever, and they're saying, we're moving to North Dakota.
Wow. You are, you know, VIP access to every C-suite in the world. You've been quite an ambassador for North Dakota. Talk about what can be possible as someone that is a savvy investor like you and the connection you have to North Dakota in this space and others.
So this all started, and I have to be careful which states I say this about because I got in a lot of trouble defining loser states and winner states. But there's a lot of loser states. And so, well, you know the story, and I don't even say that anymore, but you know, you guys, your taxes are crazy there, and you got to fix that. I mean, that whole thing of taxing wealthy people so they just move out of your state, that's not so smart. But anyway,
On God, and raising the taxes on wealthy people so they move out the country, that wasn't going to be smart either.
anyways, don't get me down that road. My point is, I said, look at this place, North Dakota. The guys there look like they want to do business. And sure enough, you have to have a partnership with the administrator, with the regulator, with the governor, with the senators that say, yeah, if you bring money here, we'll get things done. That's all you want as an investor. And that's when I discovered North Dakota, saying, wow, winner state. And we've invested in lots of deals here. And I think I tell everybody about it now, saying, hey, have you ever put a dime into North Dakota? And they say, no. I said, well, I found a deal. You want to come in with me on this deal? And this is an ag tech deal maybe, or a drone deal maybe, or a power deal, or whatever it is. And I'm bringing in all.
Hey, shout out to my man, Maine Harbor. Hey, bro, appreciate the support. He says, like and subscribe, everyone. No, for real. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, like and subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate the support, bro. Let's keep it going.
Tons of new money into here that have never invested here before. And get this, if I find a company that actually should be in North Dakota because its market is in North Dakota, like ag tech, I'll move the whole friggin' company here and put them in one of the cities. And they come here for the first time saying, well, I didn't expect this. Most people don't understand North Dakota till they come to North Dakota. You got to hang out here. I don't care if you come in February. Come and just check it out. Meet the people, see the cities, look at the services, all the technology, and the go-to attitude of the government. You know, I'm a path of least resistance guy. I want to get stuff done. I'm an investor, and I want to do it while I'm alive. I don't want to wait.
Yeah, and sadly, you can't be a real investor in China. That's what it's looking like. That's bro. The potential for China's consumer market, like, it doesn't make sense why are people doing so bad. It's crazy that their government does not see the vision of making sure their people have a livable wage and a great way of life, or a sustainable way of life, where a lady's not crying and she's a nurse, where she should be making at least what our nurses are making. Our nurses are making like what, 50, 60K? Like, damn, at least she can do is make the 40, 50. Like, this is insane. Like, bro. But yeah, like, the fact that the fact that they cannot see the vision of actually making sure that their people is living a good life and how that's going to increase their market value altogether is going to increase their consumer market, and then they can have that leverage against us. But at that point, like I said, I'm pretty sure things will be evened out, because by them increasing their consumer market, that means they're increasing business with us or other countries, but most likely it's going to be with us.
Years and years and years for permits. That's why North Dakota is a winner.
Comedic interlude. Let's get into Lefties losing it.
Losing it. It's time for Lefties losing it, and he's back. The puppet president Joe Biden has made his first public remarks since he left office in January, and of course, he launched into an incoherent attack against President Donald Trump. It was a mess